my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new to my channel, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button to stay inspired to wise up and rise up above these narcissists. So if you clicked on this video, you want to know more about how can you not get triggered when co-parenting with a narcissist. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is because at the end of the day, if you don't know already and you're new to my page, I used to be in an 18-year narcissistic abusive relationship with the father of my daughter. And at the end of the day, we still have to deal with speaking with each other about my daughter, or, just talking about certain things with my daughter. So it's been 2 years now that he has gotten his new supply, and I've been on my healing journey, educating myself more about narcissistic abuse and, just working on myself mentally and emotionally, and again, educating myself on how to co-parent with a narcissist. So in this video, I want to share with you tips and tools and what I personally implemented and did that helped me with not allowing my ex-narcissist that I'm co-parenting with. They say there's no such thing as co-parenting with a narcissist, but at the end of the day, you still have to deal with that narcissist, right? So I'm gonna just give you guys tips and tools on what I did, to work with him without allowing him to trigger me, to get supply from me. Because originally, that's all the narcissist really wants from you. And what is supply? There is such thing as good supply and bad supply. Both of them are equal in the sense of both of them feed and stroke their ego to be relevant, to know that they still have control, to trigger you over your mind, your emotions. That's good. Like, supply for the narcissist is knowing, right, that they can affect you mentally, emotionally. Because if they feel like they can affect you mentally, emotionally, then it means they have control over you. And ultimately, that's what the narcissist wants, is ultimate control. And having a kid with you, they know already that's ultimate control for them, right, if they have a child with you. So at the end of the day, right, I learned, right, how can I co-parent with this person when this person is so toxic, or this person, has a vendetta to try to, trigger me in some sort of way or get my attention, right? So at the end of the day, when, let's say you left the narcissist, right, or the narcissist discarded you, nonetheless, right, in their mind, you're still theirs. You're still theirs because of the fact that you guys have kids together, right? And in the narcissist's head, it's all about control. They just want ultimate control, to know that they can have access over your mind, your emotions, to trigger you and affect you mentally and emotionally. Because if they can affect you mentally and emotionally, that means they can control you, right? They're controlling your thoughts, they're controlling your emotions, right? So my biggest tip, number one, my biggest thing, that after I learned all the things about narcissism and, being abused from a narcissist, after I learned all that and I was standing in the facts, I was able now to take a step back and now start analyzing, right? What was my relationship with that narcissist, and how did that person affect me mentally and emotionally? What do I mean by that? First tip is I started to learn what are my patterns that I have with this person, right? So what I was learning with the narcissist, right, in us co-parenting after 2 years now that he has his new supply, is when me and my ex broke up, he loved to financially abuse me, right? Because he knew that would get under my skin. It would trigger me. It would upset me. Now, everybody's situation is different. Maybe you're co-parenting the narcissist and they like to mess with your time, right? They know that, you're a busy person or whatever, so they might drop the kids off late. Or, they might take long to respond, to say when they're going to drop off the kids, or they drop off the kids early, or, you know what I mean? Like, they know how to trigger you and get you upset. So it's taking a step back and learning what are the things that narcissist does while you guys now are not together and you guys are co-parenting. What are the pressure points that narcissist loves to hit to affect you mentally and emotionally. Now, when you can find that trigger, then you can start healing and working on that trigger. So then that way, that narcissist will not be able to affect you mentally, emotionally, even though you were co-parenting or you're dealing with the narcissist, right? For your kid's sake. So perfect example is, again, my ex loves to financially abuse me. He uses the finances of providing for my daughter to affect me. It has nothing to do with, my daughter. It has to do with, he knows that it upsets me. It frustrates me because I can't grasp to understand how a parent, could just not care if their kid is eating or, is okay just because they're not with them, right? So to me, that upsetted me. It triggered me, and it would make me call down his phone and get upset and be like, you're taking care of, your new supply and doing this, but then you don't care to take care of your daughter in regards to, giving child support on time and whatever. And he used to get upset with me. I used to call down his phone. I used to yell at him. Again, to the narcissist, that's a reaction. That's still feeding their ego. You know why it's feeding their ego? When you get upset with them or you yell at them when you're co-parenting with them, is because at the end of the day, they see that they can still get a reaction out of you. Whether it be a good reaction where you're stroking their ego, saying that you miss them, you love them, you care about them, and you're hurting. To them, you know what I mean? That's good supply, but then there's also the bad supply where you're cursing, you're yelling, you know what I mean? You're calling down their phone, you're calling them names. They still enjoy that shit because that means that they can still trigger you. And if they can trigger you, that means they can affect you mentally and emotionally, right? So they get enjoyment out of that because that strokes their ego to feel relevant. Narcissists always want to be relevant, whether they're with you or not with you. So as long as they see that they can trigger you and upset you and affect you mentally and emotionally, their ego's getting stroked and they're getting supply. So that's why they say it's so important. No reaction is still a reaction, right? But the biggest thing is learning how to accept what is and who they are by standing in the facts, but also, healing yourself and working on yourself and understanding why do I let this person get out of my skin, right? How can I work on myself mentally and emotionally to not allow them to steal my joy and my happiness at the moment? Because at the end of the day, when you're co-parenting with a narcissist, we look at so many things that they do as unfair, right? But at the end of the day, what I learned is people are going to be people. You cannot, the narcissist will never change. So it's understanding that you're co-parenting and your kids has somebody who, has a personality disorder and they will never change. They are very selfish individuals. They lie, they're pathological liars. They lie to their kids easily like this. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you're dealing with somebody that will not change and there's nothing that you can do about it. So at the end of the day, what you can focus on, another tip is focus on what you can control. Don't focus on what you can't control. Because at the end of the day, you can't control that other person, but you can control you. You can control your reactions. You can control, how you allow it to affect you mentally, emotionally, to be there for your kid. You be the best parent that you can be and allow the narcissist to mess up and do whatever they need to do. And that's what I was able to learn from that, trigger, that was a pattern that we had throughout the whole 2 years of him being able to trigger me to get upset, to get frustrated, to constantly be thinking about him, that it's unfair and it's not fair. How is that affecting me? It's affecting my mental health and it's affecting my emotions. So do you see how these people, they do certain things with patterns to affect you, even though you're not with them no more and you're just co-parenting? So the best thing that you can do for yourself is learn those triggers that the narcissist does to affect you mentally, emotionally when you are, co-parenting with a narcissist, and work on those triggers and notice those patterns. So when you notice the patterns, stand in the facts. When you notice the triggers that they try to trigger you, how that makes you feel. Does it make you feel angry? Does it make you feel like it's not fair? Do you get frustrated? Learn all those emotions of yourself and then work on them. love on them, heal on them. And what this does, y'all, it makes you gain back power and control over your mind and your emotions to not focus on them and allow them to just be whatever parent they want to be. And you just put all the focus inward on you, on setting healthy boundaries and doing the best that you can do for you. So in my example, you guys, like I set my boundaries that it is what it is. I'm not gonna call this person asking them, to take care of their kid or whatever. Let them do whatever they wanna do. The best thing I can tell you guys too, when you guys get upset or you guys get frustrated that it's not fair or how the narcissist is dealing with their kids is not fair, is the end of the day, I'm a strong believer in God. Karma is real. So all those things that the narcissist is doing messed up to you and you have to feel and you have to deal with and be strong for your kids and take care of your kids. At the end of the day, karma's real. They're going to get theirs. God does not sleep. And they're going to have to answer to God. Because at the end of the day, if you see yourself not doing anything wrong to them and you're trying to co-parent and you're trying to be the best parent you can be and, make the situation civil, then at the end of the day, blessings upon blessings will keep coming to you. Because again, you're not being vindictive, you're not being spiteful, you're not being no type of way. But if you are one of those parents that are flipping the script and being spiteful and being negative towards the narcissist, you got to open your eyes and realize that karma is going to come back on you as well, right? So you can't throw stones and then it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't throw stones and then you're doing messed up shit too, right? So my best advice and tip to give you is stand in the facts and knowing who the narcissist is. They have a personality disorder. They are who they are. They won't change even if for your kids. They won't. And then stand in the reality of, what they do to poke at you and to affect you mentally and emotionally. Learn those patterns because they have a pattern. I'm telling you based off of experience. They have a pattern to try to trigger you. Learn those triggers. Learn those patterns. Learn your emotions, right? How it makes you feel. Why does it upset you? If it's something out of your control, stand in the facts to understand you can't change that other person. You know what I mean? And it's out of your control. You can't control other people, but you can control yourself. You can control how their actions and their patterns affect you mentally and emotionally to be the best damn parent for you and your child, right? So I share with you guys this because again, I literally experienced it this weekend and it allowed me to set myself free in regards to there was a big pattern of me getting upset when my ex would not give me money for my daughter and me just thinking it's unfair and getting in this victim mindset and me constantly thinking about how he's unfair and the type of person that he is and all these negative thoughts that I learned this weekend that it affects you. They are carrying on with their life. They're doing whatever they want to do because narcissists, again, they lack empathy and they are very, self-centered people. So at the end of the day, you could be hurting. You could be being upset and frustrated on the things that maybe they're doing to mess with you when you're co-parenting with them. They really don't give a shit. And it's only affecting you. So I had this aha moment this weekend that seen the pattern and I decided to break it. To say to myself, I'm no longer gonna allow this person to affect my mental health and affect me mentally and emotionally to get me upset to something I can't even control. Because at the end of the day, narcissists, they're gonna do whatever they wanna do regardless, right? And whatever they do, they may not, they have no empathy. So they'll do things that will probably affect you mentally and emotionally, but it's up to you and how to stand in your power to not learn the triggers, learn the patterns, right? Learn your emotions and love on yourself and show up for yourself and know that you can only do what you can do and leave the rest on what you can't do. And focusing on, again, somebody who will never change, doesn't matter if they're their parents, they will never change. And, they'll continue that pattern and keep affecting you mentally, emotionally for years to come if you allow it. Right? So the best thing that you can do is set your healthy boundaries with the narcissist when you're co-parenting, whether that be only through emails, right? not doing phone calls. You know, if your kid is big enough, talk through the kid, right? At the end of the day, like, just limit the contact. When I mean talk to the kid, it's something neutral. Like, let's say the kid's not going to school, and the kid's 16 or 15, they can tell their mom or dad, hey, I'm not going to school today. I mean, little things like that. And then limit your time speaking to that person, whether that be you only do emails, right? Or there's a specific pick up and drop off spot, or they're not allowed to come to this area to pick up your kids, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, find what healthy boundaries work for you. Start implementing the healthy boundaries that work for you. Start learning their patterns, right? And how they try to trigger you and affect you mentally, emotionally when you're co-parenting with a narcissist, right? Learn your emotions and why it upsets you. Why does it frustrate you? Is it something that you can control? If it's not something you can control, then let it go and stand in your power and knowing what you can control for you and your kid, right? And the next thing is stand in the facts. Stand in the facts that they are narcissists. They do not change. They lack empathy. You know what I mean? They're pathological liars. They're people who think, you know, selfishly, regardless or not they have a kid or not. So stand in these facts and knowing these things. I promise you, when you learn these things that I'm sharing with you, you'll feel like a lift off your chest. And when I learned these things this weekend, I freed myself. I freed myself from thinking that, you know what I mean? Like, this person needs to be this way when they'll never be that way. I freed myself of the expectations of them being a good parent. I freed myself of, you know, expecting that they should be this way because they're, you know, a parent. When you can free yourself of the thoughts that triggers you with that narcissist, you're like on the next level of taking back your power, your happiness, and just control over what you are gonna allow and what you're not gonna allow. It's so freeing. I'm telling you guys, try these tips that I'm sharing with you. I'm literally implementing them now. I feel so empowered and uplifted. You know what I mean? Dealing with that situation. I'm giving you guys a straight, full-on situation that I am dealing with currently right now that has helped me so much. And this is why I want to be transparent with you guys and share with you guys what you guys can do too if you guys are getting triggered from the narcissist and co-parenting with them, right? Stand in the facts and knowing who these people are. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope that my story has empowered you. My tips has helped you in some sort of way to wise up and rise up above the narcissist if you're dealing with co-parenting with them. Because I get this question all the time, like, how do I stop thinking about them? Or how do I take back my power if I'm, have to co-parent with the narcissist? I share with you guys a lot of tips and what you can do, right? Baby steps. Be gentle with yourself. Be easy with yourself, right? If you're ever seeking for help and you want more tips and tools, on your situation, right? You can always book a one-on-one with me, you guys. If you guys want to book a one-on-one with me, I'll leave the link in the comments. You can book a one-on-one with me. My one-on-one is I do an hour for $75 USD. And in that hour, you get to ask me, I send you a bunch of questions to go through with and how I can direct the call and how I can help you. And then I also set up, right, a plan for us to work on healing you and your situation, right, on a 60-day plan. So if you want to know more about that, like I said, just email me. I'll leave my link in the comments and you guys can book a one-on-one with me. If not, you guys, I'm here to support you regardless. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. I'll answer them. And don't forget to give me that thumbs up, you guys, to, help the algorithm to get this video out there to more parents who are co-parenting or trying to co-parent with the narcissist the best way that they can. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys again on another video. Take care. Bye.